Good evening, everyone. My name is Katie Swain, and I am the person behind Essential Oils for Horses. I have a Facebook page that has about 3,000 followers, and we have a webinar going on as we are doing this. So, if we can hold, yes. All right, so let's get started. I grew up in Florida on a working horse farm. My parents both rodeo, my mom and dad both. My mom still runs professionally with a Doterra, and she'll be 71 in January. She just beat stage 4 colon cancer. Hi, Mom. And she's my hero. So wow. It's been kind of an interesting life growing up. I high school rodeo, did all of that. I had a full scholarship to college where I got an ag business degree. And now I am married to a military soldier. And I have a 13-year-old daughter named Abby. So being a military wife and a horse family presents humongous obstacles for us. The first one is, every time I move, I have to find a new veterinarian, every single time. And the second thing I have to find is a farrier. We all know how hard it is to find a farrier and a vet that you like. Well, imagine changing every... In saying that, this is what happens to us occasionally, and I'm sure everybody has been in this kind of situation. You come home and your horse is like this. What do you do? Well, the first question that I would ask is, who is in control of your horse's health care? Who is in control of your horse's health care? You should be. You are the owner. You are the provider. You care for that horse every day. You are its health care provider. When you need a vet, of course, call the vet. That's what they're there for. But on a day-to-day basis, it is up to you to take care of that animal. So, our agenda tonight, we're going to be talking about oil safety for horses. I use Doterra oils. I have many people on my Facebook page that use many different types of oils, not just Doterra. But I use Doterra, so I want to explain to you why. I also want to go into what are essential oils, what oils are in the Equine emergency kit. Now this is a kit that I have put together. It's not something that Doterra carries per se. It is their oils, but it's not. You're not going to go in there and find an Equine kit. This is something that I've worked with for years to put in my box, into my tool case. You coming in? Okay. The other thing is how to use these oils, which is really important. If you don't know how to use them, they're just going to sit in the box and create dust. Catch dust. So that's very important. And then also tonight we're going to go over how to purchase the Equine kit. Again, it's not with Doterra, so I actually am going to show you how to do it. We also have testimonies. Of course, have our references, and then it'll be open for questions. So this leads us to the question of oil safety. Horses are very similar to people. They take in plants every day. That's what they live on, is grasses and grains. So it works really well for them. But you have to be very, very careful about keeping it out of their eyes. You do not want it anywhere inside the ear canal, which is pretty easy to do. Their ears are pretty big. And you don't want to go up in the nasal cavity. I always dilute when applying topically to a horse with fractionated coconut oil. Horses have very sensitive skin compared to people. You have to think about it. A horse can feel a fly on its skin way better than we can. So they have a lot more receptive nerves at the top of their skin than we do. So always dilute with fractionated coconut oil. So the biggest concern with using essential oils on a horse is just skin sensitivity. Always follow label direction, topically, and internally. These are all basic things, basic knowledge on oils. So the next question is, why did I choose Doterra oils? With all these oil companies out there, why did I go with Doterra? Well, my horse asked the same question, obviously. I chose him for this reason, and I actually have a video here for us to watch because it does much better than I do. And I don't know if it's going to play, but we're going to try. Someone? See it there.
There are many.
Sorry, everyone. I saw it earlier. Gosh, this video's been painful. There it is. Good Good job, honey.
The gifts of the earth we receive daily: air, water, food, life. And what about health? There is a gift from the essential oils are the plant's natural medicine against bacteria, viruses, and diseases that attack the cells. Lavender puts up thistly hairs to protect the dynamic chemistry found in the oil sac. One drop of essential oil contains hundreds of unique compounds offering powerful chemistry for fighting many different diseases. It's important to remember our bodies and plants have very similar building blocks. So, when we take these essential oils into our bodies, they are in a familiar environment, and they go to work on our behalf just as they would for the plant, killing bacteria, inhibiting virus reproduction, cleansing toxins, destroying parasites, oxygenating our cells, and boosting our immune systems. These essential oils don't just treat symptoms, they work at the root of the problem, at the cellular level. One of the greatest gifts for our health comes in this tiny, potent package. Major civilizations throughout the centuries recognized the capabilities of essential oils. Egyptian grave robbers would often steal the essential oils instead of the gold. Some of the first medical records from China show the use of essential oils. Hippocrates, the father of modern medicine, used oregano in his practice for their antibacterial benefits. And even in World War II, they were used successfully to treat injured soldiers. Today, we see essential oils are being studied extensively and are being used in some medical settings. Many studies have documented that 100% pure essential oils have the capacity to stop superbugs like MRSA and aid in treating life-threatening diseases. Is this surprising? Well, from the study of the active recreate some of their attributes. Then proprietary fillers, additives, and modifications are made. Unfortunately, side effects and dependency. How powerful the potent compounds in essential oils can be are often faster, safer. Doterra essential oils are the only certified pure therapeutic grade or CPTG essential oils available. What that represents is a standard by which Doterra grows, harvests, and tests their oils. Doterra sources their lavender from France, their lemon from Italy, frankincense from Oman. All of Doterra's oils come from specific regions where altitude, climate, seasons, and soil create the perfect conditions to produce the most effective essential oils. Then artisans of these regions, in partnership with Doterra, extract the essential oils from the plants with integrity and patience. Doterra then tests well beyond industry standards to ensure every drop is certified pure for internal use. The intricacy and detail that nature gives in producing a pure essential oil is a miracle. Doterra essential oils truly are a gift of the earth from all over the earth. What might these gifts have in store for you?
So Russ, I need your help to get it back, because I don't know how to do that. So, while he's fixing that for me, I look at my oils for my horse. What I do with my horses is I rodeo. I'm a professional bow racer, and when it comes down to buying the most fabulous car, like let's say a Lamborghini, well, if I'm putting the best oil in my Lamborghini, the oil change is going to last a long time. It's going to be efficient and work well. But if I go to the parts store and I get the cheapest oil that I can get and put it in the car, even though I have this high-powered car, I have a really not so good oil running that engine anymore. So my horse is going to progressively slow down and not be as efficient in his time that I need him to be at the top peak of his performance that I need him to be at. So that's why I use doTERRA oils. They are always consistent in their results. Every time I use it, I know what I'm going to get, and I always get results. That is why I use it for my horses. Because when it gets down to it, in my world, I may only have a few hours if something happens before I have to compete. And if I don't compete, I still have to pay an entry fee. It still costs me money, even if I don't run the pattern, just for them to call my name. So that hour, I have something I can grab. It may not give me enough time to get the vet there, but I know I have an oil in my trailer that I can grab and use. So that is why I use the Doterra oils. So I just want to go over one more time. And this is my horse, I'm telling you, no, just kidding. I could see my horses saying, yes, this is what my mother does for us. You can use them aromatically, and you can diffuse them in your barn. And I have done that. I've had diffused lavender oil and Serenity in my horse's stall. She was injured from an abscess, and she had to stay in, and all her buddies were out. She was not happy. And so I stuck an empty bottle of lavender next to her feed trough, so every time she went to eat, she would smell it. And then I also diffused Serenity in the diffuser. Another way that I use it is occasionally I will spray down my halter with whatever oil I want and put it on the horse. That way they're constantly smelling that aroma. Because it's kind of hard when I'm out in the field or I'm out at a show to carry my little diffuser. So I've gotten pretty inventive with that. Feminine products are really nice to use because they have strings and you can tie them on, although it looks terrible, but it does work when you're hauling down the road. The other thing is topical. You can just apply it directly, but again, horses off. And the main reason is sensitivity, but there's another reason. The molecule size on an oil is so small that it has to have enough time to penetrate through that hair coat, that hair follicle, and get to the skin. If you, here we go, come on in. Here you go. If you put it on without the coconut oil, you are going to get penetration to the hair, but you're going to get much better penetration through the hairline to get to the skin for the oil molecules to actually get in and do their job. So if you're spending money for a product, go ahead and get the coconut oil and add to it because you're going to get full benefit from that oil. If you try to put it on by itself, you're cutting yourself. You're only going to get about half of those molecules into the hair, into the skin before they evaporate. Molecules are tiny, they evaporate very quickly, so that's a great way to get them in. The other way is internal. I do feed oils to my horses. I feed 2 drops of frankincense every day, morning and night, 2 drops of digestin morning and night, 2 drops of wild orange morning and night, and 2 drops of cinnamon morning and night. Yes. The frankincense, I consider it to be like my horse's blanket. It covers many, many things. Its inflammation is one of the main reasons why I look at it. Because again, my horses are asked to perform and their joints are always getting inflamed. That's a big problem with barrel horses is inflamed joints. Wild orange, when you're hauling your horse a lot and they're in a horse trailer, that's not their normal and natural environment. Their natural environment is moving around the pasture and being with their buddies and eating grass with their head down and moving in a slow manner. It's not being tied in a horse trailer with their head up with debris blowing in their face and all that dust and everything that you get from driving down the interstate. So while the other thing it does, it helps with depression. We don't think about this with horses, but they do get depressed. Horses have emotions just like we do. When they get depressed, their immune system will drop. When you're hauling down the road and you're tied, have your horse trailer beside everybody else, and they're not taking near as good care of their horse as you are, but they still are touching, their horse turns around and touches your horse, guess what? Your horse just got sick. But if I am applying my oils as I should and keeping my horse's immune system up, more than likely my horse's antibodies are going to fight off whatever sickness that other horse has. So internally, I put it in their feed. I put lemon oil in their water. Make sure it's metal, not plastic. Lemon will eat plastic. And I also put it in their bottom lip. That's another good way if I have a colic horse and I need to get it in very quickly, I will put the oil directly into their bottom lip. Alright, so this is the Equine Emergency Kit that I came up with. Now again, this is not something that Doterra offers. This is their oils. You have to buy them individually. They do not come in a prepackaged kit. For what I do and on my website, it is in a kit together. So we have 4 single oils and 4 oil blends. The 4 single oils are lavender, wintergreen, oregano, lemon. And the 4 blends, excuse me, Mortel is what the women use in the bathroom when they wash their face to keep their face from getting age spots and keep the wrinkles down, but we'll get into that. So, first oil is lavender. Lavender, I always say, is the first oil. There's 2 problems with a horse. As soon as they get hurt, they immediately stress out. Second problem is, normally they stress colic after they've been hurt. So lavender helps to calm them down. So that way you avoid the secondary problem besides the injury, which is the stress colic. So how I like to use the lavender in an emergency type situation, this gives you ways to use it in a daily situation, but in an emergency situation, I just open the bottle and let them smell it. It's the fastest way into your lymphatic system is through their nose, they get it into their lungs, it will get into their circulatory system, and it will help them to settle down. If it's really bad, I'm going to put it on their poll. Again, make sure you use fractionated coconut oil. The poll of the horse is right between their ears, so it's going to be basically about right here on us. It's the fastest way to get into all their central nervous system and to get those nerves to calm down. Again, the reason why I stress lavender for the lymphatic system, and I'm going to read this a little bit because I want to make sure I get it correctly. Sorry, my thing moved. So, the lymphatic system is what, it helps to calm them down, but it also is a key part to the immune system. The lymph vessels absorb the fluid from the tissue, such as your skin, muscles, and membranes. And then they process that fluid through the lymph nodes where toxins are destroyed. And then they return the purified fluid to your cardiovascular system and parasites, and it then destroys them. They also create antibodies, so if your horse is ever re-exposed to that, what are antibodies good for? They're your soldiers. They go in and attack that and get rid of it. So lavender first in a bad situation, because not only are you going to help the horse calm down, but now you're going to help cleanse that lymphatic system so it can heal more efficiently, so that horse's body can work properly. So now that we got the calm down, the next thing is pain. Wintergreen is what I use for pain on horses, and I only use it in emergencies. I cannot stress that enough. It is not a daily pain management. If you have a horse that has is in need of a daily pain management, you need to be looking at the root of the problem. The pain is a symptom. I cannot stress that enough. Pain is a symptom of something bigger. Fix the big issue, the pain will go away. Wintergreen, the reason why I say only use it in emergency, it's hard for the horse's body to break it down completely and effectively. So what happens is it leaves ketone markers that stay behind in the kidneys and liver. And the horse cannot flush those out without help. So eventually what happens is those will build up, and then you'll end up with a long-term, end up with a diabetic problem, which diabetes in horses is called Cushing's. Very similar disease. They're sisters. So wintergreen, how I use it, it is, the chemical compound in wintergreen is about 85 to 90% methyl cellulite.
Salicylic.
Thank you. Which is the same chemical compound found in aspirin. That's why it works. So I did all the scientific study, I did all the breakdown, I did all the math, which would take me forever to show you. But basically, 1 ounce of wintergreen is equivalent to 171 aspirin tablets. An adult aspirin tablet, not children. So if you break that down even further for a horse, approximately 10 drops of wintergreen is the same as 1 gram of bute. So that's pretty impressive to me, because bute eats the stomach lining. We know we can't use it past 3 to 4 days max. You have major digestive issues when you use bute continuously. There's major problems with it. Does it have a place in the world? Yes, it does. Is it for everyone? That's why I use wintergreen. Again, it leaves ketones, and I'll get to how you take care of that further into the presentation. But be aware, it's not a daily pain management. It's for an emergency. You can use it long term, but make sure you're following all the steps to get the ketones out. So after pain, we go into the next step, which is going to be an antibiotic. Because anytime, I'm thinking wounds here mostly, because that's normally what most of us deal with in an emergency. You have an open cut that's been exposed to who knows what, manure, there's no telling. So now we have to worry about the bacteria infection that can also be in that wound. So I use oregano for this. Oregano has been studied for a very long time. It actually has been studied to stop staph and MRSA. So it's very, very good antibiotic. How I use it for horses is there's actually a few ways. I use it as a decontaminant for the horse area. So let's say I go to a show and I know that I'm having to keep my horse in the store. So I will take my oregano with me, and I have my handy dandy little spray bottle, 24-ounce spray bottle, and I fill it with distilled water. You must use distilled water. Don't shortcut. Distilled water has all the stuff removed, so that way it allows the oils to work efficiently. If you have all the stuff that's in your normal tap water, all these minerals, they fight with the oils. You don't want to fight. So use distilled water. In a 24-ounce spray bottle, you want to use about 5 drops. And I go in and I spray down that whole stall. So now I decontaminated that area. So that way I don't have to worry about the person that was there before me. For horses, this is a strong oil. It's very, very strong. It will burn. I cook with it all the time, which is kind of nice, so when I'm traveling and I want to make spaghetti, I have my oregano. But when you want to use them on a horse, you have to really dilute it with coconut oil. So right now I'm dealing with a horse that went over the fence. If you go on my Facebook page, you'll see the picture. It's lovely. Oh, it's bad. And she cut it from right below the hock on the front side all the way to the ankle, and the skin was peeled. She degloved her leg. This happened last week. So I am spraying, but make sure, I cannot stress enough, dilute oregano. Only use it on the skin when you need to. I use it on the feet all the time. Whenever I have thrush issues, I put it straight on the thrush. Thrush will be gone within moments. I mean, it just leaves. Great for abscesses. Really good for an abscess. I soak warm water. Take your Epsom salt, put it in your hand. This is important. Take a good handful of Epsom salt, put your oil straight onto the Epsom salt. What the oil will do, because oil and water don't mix. That's something that we know from making salad dressing. So when you put your Epsom salt in your hand and you put a couple drops of oregano, those chemical compounds can now grab onto the salt and they will dissolve more efficiently into your water. Then you put it into the warm water, you mix it up, and now you have a hoof soak for abscesses. Put it, and then you soak them for about 15 to 20 minutes. And then afterwards, some people like to wrap, some people don't. That is your own personal thing. I've done both. I always put the oregano directly into the open wound as well, the open hole for the abscess as well. I'm also dealing not only with the horse with the cut open leg. I had a horse that I loaned to a friend, and she got a bad abscess while I was at convention. And I got home, and she was 3-legged. She wasn't even using her one leg, her one foot. And the abscess actually went up into the leg. And sometimes that will happen. It's only happened to me twice. The horse that went through the fence, I go out there to check on my mare with the abscess, and she looks like she has an elephant leg. It is literally this big all the way down. And it was full of heat. And he and I are going, oh, we just finished sewing up this one horse, and now we have a horse with this leg and I know it's the abscess that's traveled up. So I immediately grabbed my oregano and I started spraying it on. I sprayed it on that night. I sprayed it on the next day, and all the swelling's gone, and she's about 90% sound now. She's putting all her weight on her feet. She's not laying around anymore, and there's no heat in that leg at all. She still has a little bit of heat in that foot that we're still working on, but for the most part, you wouldn't tell if you didn't know it. So,
how long was you soak it?
15 minutes. So that is how I like to use oregano. Again, I cannot stress enough with diluting. Another cool thing to use is, this happens to me with, every time I move, I always find trailers and their horse gets sick. How do you clean your trailer from this infection that this other person's horse put in your trailer? Well, you grab your handy dandy spray bottle and you go spray down your trailer. It's very simple. Now you have a way to very efficiently clean your trailer of bacterial infection. So the next oil that we're going to use is lemon. Real quick, I forgot to say this about oregano. Oregano is just like wintergreen. It leaves ketone markers behind, just like wintergreen. Only use it when you need it. It's not something you want to use every day. You use it when you need it. It stays in the emergency spot. When you need it, grab it. So how do I take care of ketones and all these markers? I use lemon. Lemon is great for detoxing the body. It flushes the kidneys. It helps with urinary tract infections. One problem that we have hauling down the road is I have some picky mares, and they don't like to drink water everywhere I go. And I got really tired of always hauling my water from my house to the show. Lemon has taken care of that for me, because what does it do? It kills all the stuff in the water. So now their water is what they expect it to be, and it always has a nice lemony fresh, so a fresh taste, so they like that. And how I use it is 1 drop for every gallon. That's how I like to use it. Make sure you use metal. But this is what helps to flush the ketones out of your kidneys and out of your liver. It's basically the clean, good to diffuse. It's also an antidepressant. It does many, many things as well. So we're going to go into the oil blends. Digestin. I have a lot of people comment on Digestin on the Facebook page. Digestin is my go-to oil when a horse is colicking. And we are all going to have a horse that colics. I don't care how good you take care of your horse is going to colic at one point or another. Colic kills 85%. It's the leading death in horses is colic. So what do I use? I use Digestin. I immediately put 2 drops of oil in my horse's bottom lip. The reason why I put it in the bottom lip is that is the fastest way into the bloodstream. It immediately gets into the bloodstream, and it will help settle those stomach down, and it will start helping the intestinal tract to work more efficiently. The second thing that I will do is, again, dilute with your fractionated coconut oil, and I rub it all over the stomach area. But people forget this part. Rub it on the flank area. The flank area, that's all of that system to work for a horse to pass anything that may be blocking. So if you concentrate just on the stomach, you may be missing the spot that's actually having the issue, which might be the intestine. Now, in saying this with Digestin, a simple colic should be gone within a matter of a few hours. If it is not gone in a few hours, you have a problem, call your veterinarian. If you have a twisted gut in your horse, Digestin is not going to fix a twisted gut. Okay? It cannot help that. The only thing that's going to help that is surgery. Call your veterinarian. Use good judgment. Colic is a very serious thing. I cannot say that enough. There is a difference between a simple colic and your horse is on the ground and dying colic. So if you need to, call your vet. But I still would use the Digestin when the vet's on the way, because what is it going to do? It's going to help your vet help your horse more efficiently. It's going to really help him out a lot. We had a mare that did 2 colic surgeries within 45 days apart. And I can tell you, she's been on Digestin since then. That's been 3 years ago, and she's not colic since. My regiment, the reason is because it helps with ulcers. Performance horses have major problems with ulcers. Their stomach is not as developed as it should be to be always in a performance stressful situation. Ulcers are a lot of horses' behavioral problems. They are in pain. And I feed this just for the ulcer preventative that it gives. The other cool thing that it does, it aids with deworming. Fennel is a good parasite killer, as well as lemon. Again, lemon's your cleaner. So these are all good regimens to do. If you use it as a wormer, do a fecal check on your horse. The best way to know if you have any type of parasites in your horse is to take a fecal sample to your vet. Costs very little, and to check and see where you're at. If you have a lot of horses on a small lot, you're going to have a parasite outbreak. It's just how it's going to be. If you have few horses on a big lot, you're going to have less parasites. You have to fit your program for worming to where your environment is. I cannot stress that enough. Worming is one of the biggest things that rob your horses of good health their body's going to be, and the better they're going to perform for you. So the next thing is, this is one of my favorite oils. If you're on my Facebook page, I talk about this oil all the time. I call this my massaging blend. I do this a lot. I like to use it as a massaging part after I run barrels. I just take a nice little bucket of water. Again, a handful of Epsom salt, doesn't have to be much. A couple drops of the Aroma Touch, and I mix it into the water. And then I like to use a good heavy cotton glove as a sponge, because that way I can actually rub my horse down. So just like they do on the racetrack when they rub their horses down after racing, I'm doing the same thing after I run barrels. This does 2 things for my horse. Actually, it does several things. The first thing it does, it removes lactic acid buildup in the muscles. That's the biggest robber of performance of anyone. Humans, it doesn't matter. Lactic acid builds up in your muscles after you do exertive energy. So I want that to be removed so my horse can recover and go on to the next barrel race. The second thing it does, it helps with cool down. Cools them down very quickly. It has peppermint oil in it, so it really helps the cool down process. It also helps inflammation. If I can keep the inflammation down, I am just that much better. So I do this every time after I run barrels. It's just very quick. It's part of my regimen. So just very quickly, I just pull it out. You don't even need a lot of water. You only need maybe a half a gallon. It's very easy to rub down. The other thing that I use this for is colic. People don't think about this. Horses are stressed out when they're colic and they're tense. This has lavender oil in it. It will also help them to relax. And not only that, it also helps increase the circulation system, which will help increase the digestive system to start moving better. So I use this in colic as well, and I rub it on their body like I do the digestive. I don't put this in their lip, I rub it on their body. Let me make sure I have all my notes. So muscles, oh, the other thing is respiratory. Since it has peppermint in it, it's very good for respiratory. So if I'm having a problem, my horse has got a bad cold, I can just open it. You don't even have to open it, but you can or not. Horses' sense of smell is about 500 times better than ours. They can actually smell it with the lid on. You just hold it up to them, they can breathe it in, it'll start opening up their airways and help opening up their lungs so they can breathe more efficiently. It also will help with calming because, again, it has the lavender in it. It's known for basically attacking viral issues. So we have our oregano for bacteria, so now we have our On Guard for viral. So when we're out and about and this horse over here has a flu or whichever, I'm going to take my handy dandy 24-ounce spray bottle again, filled with distilled water, add 5 drops of On Guard to it and go spray down the wall. You can do oregano, wait just a minute, and then do the On Guard. So now you're getting rid of both issues. You're getting rid of the bacterial and you're getting rid of the viral. I also feed this in my horse's feed when they need it. I only feed it if they actually need it. I don't do it daily. It is what I consider a weapon in my arsenal. When my horse is sick, I pull out the medicine that makes him better. I don't do this daily. I use the wild orange to help their immune system. This is just if they have an issue and I feel like they're getting a little respiratory issue or flu or viral, I will give them this. It's been studied for years. All the oils in this has been studied for years for its ability to kill viral, bacterial, and mold. In your horse trailer, all your friend's horse, you have a viral infection in your trailer now, spray it down. You have somebody, you're hanging your, I cannot stand this. I'm at a show and my bucket of water is hanging on my horse's, at my trailer, and I walk up and somebody is over there letting the horse drink my water. I'm going, really? Because that's really a fast way to get strangles passed around really quickly. So what am I going to do? I'm going to dump that water and I'm going to grab my On Guard and I'm going to clean my bucket with it. Very good to clean buckets with. You can also diffuse it if you have sick horses. You can diffuse this in the barn and it will help that way as well. So the next oil on here is Immortelle. So this is the one that everybody scratches their head about because this really is the women's oil that they wash their face with and they put this on at the end. It's the beauty regimen is what I call it. But it has the powerhouse wound healing oils in it. Incense in it, helichrysum, sandalwood, myrrh, rose, and lavender. All of those oils have been studied for years and eons for their healing properties. It's what they do. So I use it for my wound care. That's what I use Immortelle for. I always mix it half and half, and that is the roller bottle that it comes in. So I will take half of the oil out as soon as I get it, and I fill it up with a diluted fractionated coconut oil. And then I put the roller part back in, so now I have this really easy application. I just roll it on wherever I need to. If I have a wound here, a little scratch there, I'll just roll it on. If it's a bigger wound and you can't roll it on, as I'm dealing with the horse that degloved her leg, I have it in a spray bottle. And it's not a very big spray bottle because, again, you want about half and half of the mixture ratio with this. And I spray it on every morning and every night. And I can't tell you enough good things about Immortelle. It is, if you can only have one oil, this will be it. This is the oil to have. It helps with tons and tons of things. And my thing is going crazy. So with Doterra, you are in control of your horse's health care. Education and really learning how to do this, you can help your vet be more efficient for your horse when you really need your vet. And that's what this is here for. So you are in control. So the emergency equine kit, as I put it together, so again, I put it on here so you can see. If you bought it retail from Doterra and you went through and you bought each individual oil, it would cost you $278. If you're a wholesale member, it will cost you $208.50. Your membership is $35 for the first year. After that, it's just like a Costco membership. It just gives you the freedom to buy when you want to buy, and it costs you $35 to do so. Your second year and every year thereafter is $25 and free, as long as you order something. So your total with the membership, if you're not enrolled, is $243.50. So with a wellness advocate, you can have a 25% discount off all retail prices. You have 10% to 30% free auto ship reward credit. So what does that mean? You pay for shipping on everything. Well, Doterra says, okay, we're going to do better than that. We're going to give you free points for your shipping, so that way you can take that point credit and actually buy more product. I appreciate that. The other thing is you can help other people learn about the oils, like I am doing. You can go out and actually help other people help themselves and their animals. If you wanted to do this as a business as I am, there is a way to also earn an income from it. You have your own website, so you can go in at any time and order the oils at your disposal. You don't have to do it every month. If you want to, I do order every month because I use it so much, but you don't have to. And you don't have to call anybody and beg any, or have them bother you. You just go straight on the web to your little login page and you choose what you want when you want it. And I appreciate that. So with doTERRA, again, you can share it with your horses and your friends. And I really like this picture because that's how we are, always standing out in the back. You're always with somebody. You're always buddying up. You're always talking to somebody. And so here are some of the testimonies that have come by way of my Facebook page. Kelly Peterson Roberts, she asked me back in July, she had a barrel horse that got a stifle injury. And she asked me what to do. And I told her about the massaging bath with the Aroma Touch oil. And then I told her after she did a bath to actually use it with fractionated coconut oil and massage that area even more. And this is what she wrote back to me. She said, I asked you about what to do with a stifle that is sore. You told me to use this Aroma Touch blend. I thought I would let you know that before using the oils, I could not even get close to her stifle without her wanting to kick my head off. I coconut oil and just rubbed it directly on the stifle area. She is a different horse. Thank you again for your great suggestions. I love all that you post. And she has since then talked to me quite a bit. The horse is doing very well. So this is another horse. This is before the oil application. This is after. This is another one. This is before. That is a lovely knee. And this is after. And they are all just using oils. This is my personal horse, the horse that when he came in, the big paint horse. This is her leg. She kicked a pipe fence. I was not happy. She's also the one with the abscess. So not only did she kick the pipe fence and have this as the back leg, she's also not able to stand on her front leg. So, and this is, I applied it I am still applying it now, but this is after one night of application. That's the next morning. Huge difference in inflammation. So this is my gelding. He's having a hard time with the flies this year. I get a lot of talk about this on my Facebook page. Flies irritating the eyes or rubbing their eyes, and this is a sore that he has. I started using the new Correct X. I love the Correct X. It's the brand is tripped now after 1 week. That is significant. The other thing that I have to point out, I don't have to worry about it getting in his eyes. I don't have to worry about it hurting him if it does. I really am thankful for that. So that is the Correct X. If you're not a member and you do want to be a member and you purchase the Equine Kit, I'm going to give you a free thing of Correct X just for taking the leap of faith with me. Again, it's petroleum free. It has frankincense, helichrysum, melaleuca, cedarwood, and lavender in it. These are some of the references that I go to. I go all over, but just in case you wanted to know where they're coming from, this is what I study from. I study a lot of places, but I wanted to give you some references to go by. And that is on the individuals. These are on all the blends. The On Guard one, this one, is very, very unique. If you haven't seen it, you need to go see it. And then this is some other ones, the lymphatic system, which is very, very important in your horse. And then, of course, the ketones, which we talked about with the oregano and the wintergreen. All right. So we're going to pigeon fever. I had a mare breakout with pigeon fever last year. The Immortelle for the wound, and then obviously it's a viral infection, so the On Guard is what I would use. And you probably might have to deal with a fever, so you can either use the Aroma Touch, which is already in here, which will help bring down the fever for the peppermint. That's what I would use. But another side note that's not an oil is called Underwood. Have you ever heard of Underwood? Look it up. It's a really good, another arsenal to have. It's a wound care system as well. I don't sell it, I don't have it, but I keep it and I use it a lot. But that's what I would use. Anyone else? Yeah, I used it on our horse as well. And I used the Immortelle around it because it broke out about this big on her stifle. So, wouldn't you say about that big? And now she has just a nice little line, but it was very scary. Yes, ma'am.
Do you ever use the cornet band as an application?
I do. I do use the cornet band. I like to use the wintergreen on the cornet band or on the spine. I also use the cornet band as an application point when you have a horse that will not grow a good foot. We all have to deal with this. I get my roller bottle because it's the easiest way to apply, and I mix it half and half in that roller bottle with the fractionated coconut oil and the other half with the rosemary, and then I make a separate one with the lavender. And this is called layering. You roll your first one on, the rosemary, you wait about 30 seconds, and then you do the lavender. This will encourage hoof growth, and good hoof growth, not just flaky hoof growth.
Yeah, I've used just the lavender, but I haven't used the rosemary.
It helps the brain to work more efficiently, which every horse can use that, right? Yeah.
Mine are all perfect.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
I have a horse who's really itchy all over throughout the summer and fall. So I'm thinking probably the lavender, right?
Yes, you can do the lavender, but there's another one that I would use as well, and it would be the Aroma Touch oil. The reason why is Aroma Touch has peppermint and lavender in it, and it will help settle the skin. So it helps with inflammation, it helps with circulation, and it will help the skin to settle down. But you can do the lavender. Doing a lavender bath, which is in your application guide, is a really good way. But I have found more effectiveness for itchy skin with the Aroma Touch.
And then how often?
If it's really bad, I would do it every day until it subsided, because you're not going to hurt them. Do it every day, horses with. So you're going to boost their immune system with it. At the same time, you're helping your horse's skin, and you're not putting harmful chemicals or paraffins on their body as well. And it gets them really white, which is great if you're showing halter.
So
Yes.
we have a couple online questions.
Okay.
First one's from Jackie Ryan. She asks, when applying oregano to the hoof for an abscess, do you dilute the oil when putting directly on the hoof?
If you're putting it on the bottom of the hoof, Jackie, you do not have to dilute. If you're putting it on the skin or the coronary band, then yes, you need to dilute. Only when you get to the hairline do you need to dilute, because it will cause skin irritation.
It's from Diane. She says, I have a new horse with an exercise-induced cough. Vet does not think she's a bleeder. Everything sounds clear. The heart, lungs, and esophagus all sound clear.
I would really consider getting her scoped to make sure there's no inflammation in the lung or in the passageway. But as an oil that you can use, peppermint would be a good oil to use. Breathe with cardamom. I can't tell you enough how excited I am about cardamom. Cardamom helps with the lungs, and it also helps the digestive system, the two weakest parts of our horses, lungs and stomach. In cardamom, I'm very excited. We're going to start doing some studies on it to make sure it's safe. We don't know if it's safe yet for horses, but I'm excited about it because it's really showed great potential in helping to heal these horses that are bleeders in the lungs. But try the breathe, and you can just let them smell it, and it should open up the airways. Also, lemon, lavender, and peppermint together will make like a natural antihistamine. You can put one, inhale it, and that will give them a good antihistamine if it's an allergy.
Okay, and then the last one, Stephanie Gillespie Spicer asks, for the everyday oils, do you put it in the feed or what?
I do put my oils in the feed. I feed soaked beet pulp along with Renew Gold. I love Renew Gold. I don't have any affiliation with them, but I love it. But the beet pulp, when it's soaked, it absorbs the oils really well, and they're already used to eating something that is wet, and it's a very good carrier to get it in. They don't even slow down. That's it. All right. Any
That's it
questions
so
in
far?
here? Yes, ma'am.
What about, I have an older horse who's got arthritis in his knees and stifles. What could I use to help with that?
Okay, so for arthritis, we're going to look at a couple things. We're going to look at a calcium buildup that's possibly there for arthritis. Cinnamon oil is really good for rheumatoid arthritis in people, and it works really well for horses. That's why I feed it in the feed twice a day. The other cool thing about cinnamon is it helps the other oils to magnify. They work more aggressively when you put cinnamon oil with them. For a topical application, I would be looking at AromaTouch. Really help that circulation, really help that inflammation to go down. That's what I would look at for topical.
Okay.
Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
Where can you get more of this information for, say, cats and dogs?
I am not the best person to ask about cats and dogs. I do use them on my cats and dogs, and I have an amazing story on my cat, but I try not to broadcast it to the world because if you're not educated, you can kill your cat and your dog very quickly, especially cats. Write that down. She was an Olympic trainer for the soccer team, and she is the person that actually helped me with a lot of my research. I really love her. She would be the person I would look up on Facebook about the dogs because I know that she does that way more than I do. I'm not the person. I can help you with horses, but I'm not really the person for dogs.
And how do you spell the last name?
MESSIS, I believe. If you can't find it, Facebook me and I'll get you together. Yes, ma'am.
I have a pony quarter horse mix who always has a weight problem. Is there anything?
Is he overweight or underweight?
Always overweight, yeah.
He's a pony.
He's a
Yeah.
pony.
Yeah.
Ponies have a hind, they,
Easy to take care of, yeah.
I would look at Slim and Sassy. I really would. Yes, I would.
Okay.
Slim and
So
Sassy.
you and I both need to.
Slim and Sassy really helps. Slim and Sassy is a metabolizing blend. It helps your metabolism. I can speak tonight, I promise. The metabolism to balance. If you need to gain weight, it will help you to gain weight. If you need to lose weight, it will help you to lose weight. It gets you to where you need to be. That's why it's such an incredible oil. I would use Slim and Sassy and I would put it in his food. That would be the way that I'd get it. I would do maximum of 2 drops. That's the one thing about horses. Horses are way more sensitive to oils than we are. They do not take as much as we do. Most people think, oh, I need to put a whole bottle on them. I didn't quite mean to put that many, and I'm holding the bottle and she's trying to run over us. But after that, she settled down immensely. They do not need near as much as we think they need. We feel like, oh, you need a lot. They really do not. A little goes a long, long way. All right, anyone else?
We got one online from Jennifer Romano. She wanted to know what oils you would use for a cribber.
For a cribber.
Aha.
Yeah, cribber. Cribber, they actually have now recently said that a cribbing horse is very similar to someone who smokes cigarettes. They actually get high off of cribbing. It is a habit that is very hard to break. So my thoughts on the horse like that, you have to really look at the personality. I would say it's probably an anxiety disorder. I would really look at diffusing some elevating oils in there, your sunshine oils, I call them, lemon, wild orange, elevation, something else to help him get his high off of. He's getting high off cribbing, and it's an anxiety reason why he's doing it, more than likely. I would try that first, and always give him something else to do. Be diligent and consistent with your techniques.
So one more person, Diane, asked if you'd repeat what oils you feed every day.
The oils I feed every day. I feed 2 drops. 2 drops of cinnamon, 2 drops of wild orange, 2 drops of frankincense, 2 drops of digestin every day. Okay?
That's it.
And I saw a hand back here.
Yeah, I turned that off.
Are they able to hear the questions okay in the classroom? Okay.
I'm sure they heard the phone ringer too.
I turned it down a little.
I know.
We're having a dance party in here.
I turned it off, and
Really
My
want
phone has been acting up for 2 weeks now, so.
It's all good.
Look at, he's like, I'm gonna smother it.
I smothered you, it finally went out.
Just
My
sit on
horse
it.
is, my horse is mine better than my phone, so. But it's- I have a friend that's got a horse that has a problem with pacing.
Yes, it's
So
the
the same
same,
kind of thing?
it's a, horses have to have an
A nervous
outlet. And you find horses that are bad cribbers and pacers, or they call it weaving, and horses that are stalled regularly. They're not getting enough mental stimulation from somewhere
Yeah,
else.
this one I think paces a fence.
Okay, so he's a fence pacer. Is he by himself in a pasture?
I don't know.
See, that would be
I'll
something
see.
that I would ask. He's looking at something else. What is he looking at? You have to look at what is he doing. Because there's a stud horse will be a pacer because the mares are over there. He's looking for the mares. If you put a mare in there with
Well, I
him,
believe
he'll
this is a
stop
barrel
pacing.
horse.
Yeah, barrel horses
I
have
did
high
that.
anxiety. I would look at a couple things. Ulcers being one. Ulcers have a tendency to keep a horse from where they don't want to eat when they tend to be more drawn up, and they tend to always be on edge. So I would look at ulcers, and a lot of times you can tell when a horse has an ulcer because you can actually see the lines of their rib cage. They look tight in their stomach. That's one way to be able to look at a horse. Other than that, you have to go get it diagnosed from your vet. But I would look at that, and if it is, then Digestin will help his system to settle down. And then I would try to do a calming oil, maybe not an uplifting oil. If he's pacing like that, I would try lavender, Serenity, In Tune. I can't tell you how much I love In Tune. Love In Tune. Again, it comes in a roller bottle. I have a very goofy barrel horse. I pray before I get on every time. And he can tell you she's
5 of them,
goofy.
not 1.
And I keep my In Tune in my pocket. And when I put it on before I even leave, apply. And then when I saddle them up, I reapply. I use it before I need it. If you can keep your horse calm before they get up, it's much better. I love In Tune. Actually, the gentleman in the red shirt had his hand up before.
I got a little trick for horses that are stalled, and they do a lot of cribbing or weaving.
Uh-huh.
Take a milk jug, empty milk jug, hang it up so they got something to play with.
And put rocks in it.
Yeah. Just
Jelly
so they got
We
balls.
do
something
that
to
a
play
lot
with.
too. That's why I was saying, give them a
Yeah.
distraction. They need some mental stimulation somewhere else.
Works
And another
good.
thing is, if a horse is tired, he's not going to pace.
Mhm.
I'm just saying. A tired horse doesn't pace. Yes, ma'am.
I have one who gets very anxious when he's the one that's left behind. And he gets pacing and racing. What can I do to help his anxiety?
Okay.
Take him with.
Because
Sir?
if I'm
Take
there,
him with.
Yes, take
the
him
problem
with.
is I can't even tie him to the trailer by himself.
Okay, so you're going to have a long process.
Okay.
It's not going to be an overnight success. It takes routine, and you have to be consistent in your practice with a horse. They love habit. They are creatures of habit. So the first thing that I would do, wherever you have a good calm area for your horse, you obviously know when he's settled, right? And then you have a spot where he's not settled. So in that settled area, use your lavender or serenity or even the In Tune oil.
Okay.
In the same way I just said, you can let them smell it. Smelling it might be enough. I'm telling y'all, my one mare that I applied to is crazy. She runs away with me. She's crazy. So In Tune is the only thing that keeps her from killing me. She's great with In Tune. So you don't always have to apply an oil. Smelling it normally is enough. So from there, like I had a person that asked me on Facebook the same question. Every time she'd tie the horse into the trailer and then she'd take the other horse away, the other horse left at the trailer would pitch a fit. So what you do, you apply your oil when your horse is buddied with his other horse and they're close together. You apply the oil. You go over there and you reassure your unstable horse. And if you need more oil, then use it. When he's calm, then you move the horse down further. And then you just keep doing this slowly until they realize it's really not a big deal. It may take you months. It may take you one time. But eventually they will get better. You have to be persistent. And you just slowly move the other buddy horse away. And it is a pain. That horse is very unstable and it doesn't have, it's not very confident in its surroundings. So it's looking for something else to be confident for.
When I'm there with him, he'll calm down. So it's like, how do I help him when, if I'm there, he's okay, but as soon as,
So
if
if
I'm the
you're
one,
the buddy,
or-
you're going to have to do the same thing I'm saying
Okay.
about the horse.
Okay.
Something else that you may want to do is apply the oil to the halter. I do that a lot. And I said earlier about the feminine products, it's very easy and very efficiently to put it on my horse's halter in the horse trailer. It's quite hilarious driving down the road, but it works. But it works. So,
We
good luck.
we did have one question.
Yes.
Susan Kilmartin asked, "Can you use eucalyptus on a horse?"
Eucalyptus is something that you should never use internally in a horse. You can use it topically. Eucalyptus is hard for a horse to break down. It's good for lung issues and they can inhale it, but I would not recommend putting in internally.
Okay.
That it? Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
What vitamins do you feed your horse?
I knew someone was going to ask that. On top of the oils, I do feed the A to Z children's vitamins to my horses. They love them. They think they're their treats. It works great. The reason why I do is that it's a really good balanced supplement for the horse. It also has the boswellic acid comes in the vitamin. And I do the children's vitamin because it is like a treat. For the flax side of it, the omega-3s, I grind my flaxseed. You just grind flaxseed. Although I have to tell you, the Renewed Gold has a very balanced omega-3 in it, so you don't have to grind your flaxseed anymore. Thank you. And the Renewed Gold is non-GMO, so that's important to me. Yes, ma'am.
You didn't mention Melaleuca. Do you use that?
I do use that, but I have that oil and I do use it on a burn occasionally, but really my wound healing oil is Immortel. That's my favorite oil. And lavender, by the way, is very good for ticks.
Besides eucalyptus, are there any other oils toxic to horses?
Yes, good question. We went over this a little bit at convention. The studies that are done on horses and oils is very limited. There's about 20,000 plus studies on oils, period. And about this much is on horses. So it's very limited. So that is one reason why I started the Facebook page, so we can all learn together and really get to the root of the problem and what really can and cannot be done. So the studies that have been done have not been done on doTERRA oils. doTERRA oils in my research has shown to always be the purest that you can get. It doesn't have any fillers. So the studies that have been done on the horses have not been using the pure oils. So in saying that, Balance is an oil blend by doTERRA I would not use because it has blue tansy in it. Tansy is naturally toxic to horses. They do not eat tansy. They will not go near tansy. I don't use Balance. Saying that, there's another one that I don't use for the same reason, and it's Deep Blue. Everybody on Facebook is, oh, I love Deep Blue on my horse. I don't use it. I use Aroma Touch oil. It works just as well. I have to worry about this top ones that you need to be aware of is the Balance and the Deep Blue.
That leads into another question. Jackie Ryan asks, how's the best way to detox with your lemon?
Through your water.
The best process to do that.
Put it in the water. They love to drink it. I've never had a horse hesitate drinking it. I just put 1 drop per gallon, make sure it's a metal bucket, and that's, in my way of finding, has been the best way to detox my horse.
There you go.
Yes.
We've got a young horse that's got a cycroid by the edge of his eye, and the vet doesn't want to touch it because when you cut one of those,
Yep,
they
it
can
can spread.
spread.
So cycloid or warts is basically a viral infection. Yes. It's a viral infection is where it comes from, and that's where it's breaking out through the skin. So you have to attack that internally as well as externally. So again, the best viral oil we learned is what?
Oregano.
On guard. On guard. You want to feed on guard to that horse. Now topically, it's still considered like a wound, basically. So you want to use the Immortel on it. The frankincense is really good for that. It really works. And another one that does work well is Melaleuca. Yes, sir. Not with lemon. You have to think about, if you think about all your household commercial cleaners, they always have a citrus in them, some either orange or lemon. And the reason is because they are good at cutting through things and eating through things. And lemon really likes to eat plastic and styrofoam and rubber. So only use metal. And it is a pain. I'm not going to say it's not. Especially when you're traveling, you have to have a metal bucket to water your horse in. But it was well worth it. Just get a nice little rubber tube to go around the lip of your metal bucket so it doesn't scratch your trailer. Anyone else? Yes, ma'am.
How do you make a horse stop throwing their hay in the water bucket?
They like to dunk. I would soak your hay. Soak your hay. We soak our horses' hay when we're traveling, especially whenever you are in one region to the next. The hay is never the same at home. And especially if it's dusty and you have to hang your hay up, horse likes to graze. Horse's best place to eat is with his head down. So when you have, then I would probably get, is he carrying the hay to your water bucket?
Yeah, like I've put the bucket on like opposite sides of the pen and he'll pick it up, put it in his water bucket and then go back and
I have no idea. There's a reason why he's doing it, I don't know. And maybe he's trying to work for hydration, I don't, but there's a reason. Horses don't normally do something in that way without a reason. So I would really look at him, I would check and make sure he's not dehydrated in any way. That would be the first thing that I would look at. And if he is, then I would seriously consider feeding soaked beet pulp because that's a good way to keep a horse hydrated because it has the water in it. Technically 1 pound of beet pulp pellets soaked ends up being about 3 pounds soaked. It's 2 pounds of water that you're getting into your horse. That's important. Yeah, so I would really, this is my daughter who's 13.
Hi guys.
It's her horse that went through this.
She going through the lessons too?
Yes,
Yeah.
she is.
What about how to tell which oil your horses need? Your horse needs.
Oh, that's a great question. Thank you. So there is a way to see what oils your horse wants and needs. Horses are really good, especially we look at the horses in the wild, and they actually stay healthy very well on their own. And for some reason, our horses that we keep in these beautiful controlled pastures and nice stalls get sick all the time. Why is that? Horses in the wild are able to go graze from different plant lives that they need. So when you go and offer an oil to your horse, I'm going to grab an oil bottle just to demonstrate. So, I walk up to my horse, and let's say that this is my horse's nose, okay? It's right here. If I walk up to my horse, leave the cap on. Some horses want to oil so bad, they will literally try to rip it out of your hand. So grab it very tightly, leave the lid on, and you will hold it up to your horse's head for some reason. If he turns away from that oil, he doesn't want it. Go find another oil. There's so many oils that help so many different things. There's a variety. Go play with them. Bring them to your horse. He will talk to you. But that's how you see if they want it or not. It's very simple.
Do you ever feed molasses?
I used to feed molasses a long time ago.
This got a lot of minerals in it.
It does, but the problem that I have found with molasses is the height of sugar that is in it. If you're looking for a mineral balance, then I would suggest getting a good, something like red rock salt, something that is a good mineral base. If you're looking for something other than that, maybe I would look at raw honey from your local area. Raw honey for a horse is amazing. It's also very good for wounds as well. But molasses in Florida, very few horses in Cushing's disease, and very few here. This is just my thought. I think it has something to do with the lack of sunshine. That's just my personal opinion. But horses that have Cushing's disease cannot handle sugar. So,
Or lots of moisture.
or lots of moisture. And Washington is full of moisture. They have a bad problem with it up there. Anyone else?
How can we reach you?
You can reach me on the Facebook page on my card. Also, my phone number is on there. I take phone conferences all the time. I schedule appointments with people and I talk to them and help them figure out what we need to do for their horse. That's what we're here for. We're here to help each other. It's not about, oh, who can sell the most oils. It's not about that in this world. It's about how can I help you help your horse. This is a community and a team and a friendship that lasts forever. Yes?
What do you do for a mare who gets grumpy when she comes in heat?
Oh, I love that question.
Put her by herself.
Put her by herself. Actually, there are several things you can do. First off, hormone balance. You want to look at when does she start to cycle? When do you need to start a roller bottle? Dilute, just like we do the Immortel, and every time your mare gets cranky, you run in there with your little roller bottle, and I keep it near my mare stall, and you just roll it over the ovaries, and you run away before you get kicked. The other thing you can do is a lot of times mares are off balance in their hormone levels. Really, they are. So you need to look at some hormone balancing oils on a daily basis. One thing that you can use is ylang ylang. Ylang ylang is great for balancing hormones, and it helps to calm them down. Cypress is good. Geranium is good. Geranium and cypress together is really good for cramping. It really helps that oh, just don't get on me today. I don't want you to ride me today. Go away. And you feel like you're going to get kicked before you get your foot in the stirrup. that's a really good oil to apply right then. So obviously you missed the hormone balancing. So now we got to deal with this symptom, which is I'm going to kill you because sage.
And
I like
Clary-
Clary Calm, yeah.
Claricom, that's Solus'
Solus,
new name.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes.
Okay, so now it's Clary Calm.
I just wanted to, because
Yeah,
if
I
they
didn't
went to
know.
look for Solus, they wouldn't find it.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. I did not know that. I've been busy trying to learn all this other stuff. So those are the oils you grab for that intense moment. But you need to look at
What
the
was it you said for balancing the hormones?
clary sage, geranium, cypress, and clary calm is for that, oh no, that she's going to kill me. And then for balancing, you want to look at ylang ylang. Frankincense is really good for hormone balance. Whisper. I love Whisper. I'm wearing it tonight. You can apply it as well. Where would you think you would apply? Whisper is like a perfume that women can wear that also helps to level off your hormones and to keep you calm. Where would you apply that on a horse?
Full.
On the bottom of the hoof, right there underneath their ankle bone. That would be the best place, right there on the two veins that are going up and down. That's where you want to put it. So that would help them daily. And also, this is something else. I don't know why I didn't think about this. So also a daily maintenance. We know that phytoestrogen and bone to your horse. Now it comes in a capsule, so that means you actually have to break it open because a horse is not going to eat a capsule, but just break it open and mix it up into your feed. It's phytoestrogen and bone nutrient. Anyone else? All right, I think we got all the questions covered. How about on the... We're good. Thank you everyone for joining us, and I hope to see all your questions tomorrow, and I'd love to get feedback on how it worked. Thank you so much. Look forward to